Hey y'all, I'm Tiffany with Hilltop Tulips, and I have my lovely assistants with me today.
Elizabeth.
Althea.
And today I want you guys to come along with us while we make dinner.
Yay!
Okay, our first step with our potato flake crusted chicken is going to be to season our chicken. You can just use whatever all-purpose type seasoning you normally use for chicken. I don't have anything specific that I only use for this recipe or a specific way that I make it. It's just whatever I want to season my chicken with. So today we're going to be using a little bit of salt. We've got our pink Himalayan sea salt.
Can I do this one?
We have our onion powder.
Hold on one second. Thank you, Mama.
Then we're going to use this adobo all-purpose seasoning.
Oh, that kind of came out later.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. I think I sprinkled a little too much.
Nah, that's good. When we mix it all in. Oh my gosh. Okay.
I know it's so hard.
And then our black pepper.
That looks so good. Already, the chicken already looks so good.
Alright, we'll go ahead and mix this up. Okay, now to coat our chicken, I'm going to take just a box of the instant mashed potatoes. I got Parmesan cheese on mine. And we're going to put that in a gallon bag to make the tossing part easier. There you go. You want to hold it?
The next one I don't want to hold.
Okay, and then we're going to use a cup of the powdered Parmesan cheese. We call it shaky cheese. So a cup of the Parmesan cheese. Go ahead. All right, and then we're going to go ahead and season this as well with some pepper.
This is going to be real good.
Onion powder.
Any other seasonings? Good, I'm put the last one in.
Let's see.
Do make some salt.
Sure, I can do a little bit of salt. Okay. And I personally love Old Bay. I will put Old Bay on anything. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit of that in here, not a ton. Alright, so while we were doing that, I got my oven preheating to 350. We've got our potato flake mixture all mixed up. Now, after you use this, don't throw it away. I will label it potato flake chicken coating and put it in the freezer. You don't want to leave it in the fridge. It's had chicken in it, but I put it straight in the freezer, and then when I want to make this again, just pull it back out. I don't want to be wasteful and just throw it away. So I'm going to go ahead and get my chicken in here and tossed around.
Can I do that part?
Alright, so we've got that all done. Oh, it's rolling around on me. So we're going to go ahead and throw this in our 350-degree oven until done. Okay, our chicken legs are all done. Let's go ahead and pull them out. They smell delicious. Check that out. Now, I am going to put all these things that I'm cooking today for family dinner in one video, but I'm also going to post each recipe individually. So I'm going to show a picture of our plates after I'm done making everything, but also I'm going to have this recipe posted separately for if you just want to make this and you don't want to make everything. You need the recipe for this and not the whole family dinner. So the next thing we're making for dinner is going to be corned beef and cabbage. I used part of my cabbage last night as just like a regular fried cabbage. So I have the rest that we're going to use in this today. Or most of it, maybe not all of it still. huge cabbage. Okay.
That is so much.
I know, getting it everywhere.
That must be 100 pieces, plus the ones that we used yesterday and ate.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and throw a tablespoon of my coconut oil in my pot. I guess it's a pot. Okay, so we've got our coconut oil in here melted down. And the first thing I want to put in is my green pepper. So I've got maybe a 1/4 cup of a green pepper. It's just a piece of a green pepper from the other day. All right, now I'm gonna get my onion cut up. This is just maybe a medium onion. Now we're just gonna give this a minute to cook down a little bit. Okay, so our onions and peppers have cooked down until they're translucent, and we're gonna go ahead and throw in our cabbage now. I just try to break it up a little bit while I'm throwing it in, so I don't have any big chunks because they just don't cook well. And go ahead and toss it. You gotta break it up. I think this is cooked down enough. I'm gonna go ahead and throw in my corned beef. This is just regular canned corned beef. We're just gonna break it up here. A little bit, not a lot. Ooh. Runaway cabbage. Let me throw my can away. And I think this could be a main dish. We're having it as a side tonight. But I think this could be a main dish as well with just like some rice on the side or something like that. Let's go ahead and season. Got our, I'm not going to put a ton of salt because corned beef is super salty. Some pepper. Onion powder. Put a little bit of my adobo. Put this in everything. Okay. All right, so our corned beef and cabbage is all done. This looks delicious. I'm gonna go ahead and stick a lid on this and put it on warm while I finish up the rest of dinner. All right, so the next thing we're making for dinner tonight is gonna be my cornbread. Now, I use Jiffy Mix, don't judge me, it's good. That's what we use. So, I'm gonna show you how I do mine. Feel free to leave in the comments down below how you guys make yours. I know everybody's really protective over their cornbread recipe and everybody thinks that their way is right, but everybody makes it different. Most people a lot of people make it different, so I'm just going to show you guys how I do mine. I'm starting with, I've got a half a stick of butter melted in my pan right here. And I'm going to use 2 boxes of my Jiffy Mix. Now on the box it says to use a package of Jiffy Mix with 1 egg and 1/3 cup of milk. Since we are in our ovens already preheated because we're making our chicken in it, since we're doubling our recipe, I'm going to use 2 eggs and 2/3 of a cup of milk. My super controversial ingredient here is going to be 1/3 of a cup of sugar. My husband likes sweet cornbread. I did not grow up eating sweet cornbread, so this doesn't taste like what I grew up on. I feel like this is cake, but this is how he likes his cornbread. All right, now I've got everything mixed in good. It doesn't have to be completely free of lumps. It's fine. And we're just going to pour it straight into our hot cast iron. Okay. Now the package says cook on 400 for 16 to 20 minutes. So you can follow those recipes. My oven is weird, so I just cook it until it's done. So the next thing we're going to be making for dinner tonight is gravy. I've got my pan warming up, and I need to get some butter in here. So just a little pat of butter. And now I need to dice up the veggies. I try to put them in by what takes the longest. So I've got my little carrot spears here, and I'm just gonna dice them pretty small. I don't want huge chunks of veggies in my gravy. Throw our carrots in. And then I'm gonna slice up just maybe a quarter of a green pepper. I don't need a lot of green pepper. This is kind of in place of the celery for me. All right, we're gonna toss that in. And I want this to cook a little bit before I put my onions in. So I'm just gonna turn up the heat a little bit and put a little bit of water. Okay. And I don't have any chicken broth. I've been using these bouillon cubes to make broth. What's the directions? 2 cups. Yep. 2 cups of boiling water with 1 cube of bouillon. There's gotta be a better way to open these things. I just end up ripping the end of them. Okay. There we go. Got my water from the microwave, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw my beef bouillon cube in. Alright, and while that's cooking, we need some rice to eat our gravy on. So I use parboiled rice, and I'm going to tell you guys how my husband taught me how to make rice like 15 years ago, I guess, when we first moved in together. Put as much rice as you want. I don't know. Over time, I've learned how much to put for our family. It's maybe a cup and a half. Then I'm going to rinse my rice. Probably controversial. And I'm just going to put some water in it, swish it around. And then pour the water off, most of the water. Until your water's mostly clear. Now, for how much water I'm supposed to put in here, I get my rice even and then put my finger in, and I should have water up to my first knuckle. This is how he taught me to do it. You stick your finger in, and then the water comes up to here. And we're gonna just put this on like medium high. When it comes up to a boil, turn it down to medium and let it finish cooking. Alright, so my vegetables are starting to get tender. I'm going to take my 2 cups of water with my cube of beef bouillon in it. Chicken bouillon, I'm sorry. Okay. Pour that in the pan, and then I'm going to use this. It's more chicken bouillon. Sprinkle some of that. This stuff is strong. You don't need a whole lot. Maybe a tablespoon, maybe. I'm going to put some of my adobo. I don't really measure a lot. So when you guys are making this, just taste it and add things to your liking. Okay. Pepper, my onion powder. I'm almost out of that. I'm going to put a little bit of salt, but that chicken bouillon is pretty salty, so I don't need a ton. Okay. Now to thicken our gravy, I use cornstarch for mine. Unless I'm making like a white gravy, like sausage gravy or something like that, I use cornstarch to thicken it. It's just easier for me. So I'll do a tablespoon of cornstarch and just maybe like 2/3 of a cup of water. And then mix that really well. I'm wanting to get this back up to a simmer. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pour that in. Now that is what, as that cooks, that's going to make your gravy thicken up. Now we're going to go ahead and get our cornbread out of the oven. I'm going to show that to you guys. Oh, there we go. The lighting in here is weird. So there's our cornbread. Now while we cook this gravy, you want to keep it moving. You don't want it to start boiling and they get super clumpy. If it gets too hot too quick and you're not stirring it, you're going to have lumps. We don't want that. And now to determine how long you cook it, it's just how thick you want it. So you just keep cooking it until it's as thick as you want it, and then remove it from the heat. All right, let's go ahead and plate up dinner. I'm gonna grab my husband 2 pieces of chicken, making his plate first. And then I'm gonna get him a slice of cornbread. I hope his doctor's not watching. That's a huge slice of cornbread. He might not eat it all, but it's fine. Okay, and I'm gonna get him some rice. And the gravy. And I'm going to get his cabbage on here. Dinner is served, you guys. How good does that look? I know the girls are so ready to eat, so let me go ahead and get everybody else's plate made and call everybody to the table. Thank you guys so much for watching. Y'all have a great day.